I'm Madison Cox. I'm a part of cohort 10. I'm here with Brad Schmitz. He's a part of cohort 8. And today we're talking about the Envision 2040 project, which is envisioning what it's going to be like 20 years in the future. How are you doing today, Brad?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. It's a great Friday out, you know.
It is very sunny.
Oh yeah. Definitely giving my brain the serotonin it needs. The first question to start us off with, why is the Envision 2040 project important?
Of course. So Envision 2040 is important because when we look at the future, it's important to be able to adapt with whatever the future is. So my cohort 8, did a project called Embracing Change, where we put on a webinar to talk about topics like diversity, inclusion, creativity, some other topics that are like pretty important in the modern world. And the reason we did that project is because we feel that it's important to be adaptable with whatever the world throws at us. So obviously, like with the pandemic, we learned more than ever how hard and crazy it is sometimes to be able to have like change thrown at us, but we have to be ready to adapt and overcome. And looking down the line 20 years, like we have no idea what that's going to look like, obviously, but we can become ready to learn to become ready for whatever the future will throw at us. And I think that's why the Envision 2040 project is important, is because we learn to, no matter what the future is, we learn to be able to take on whatever challenges the future has in store for us.
Of course. Yeah, and COVID definitely has prepared us for, expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to know a little bit more about what insights have you gotten in exploring this topic?
So exploring Envision 2040 specifically, I think the biggest insight I've gotten is how to be a future thinker, or a forward thinker, if you will. Because as I said in the previous answer, we have to be ready for change, but also at the same time, it helps for us to be able to look to the future and guess what the future will be like based off like current trends and stats and things like that. So, and in addition to being like a forward future thinker, you have to be able to, like I said before, embrace change and adapt to the future no matter what it is. So I'd say the big insight for me is just like learning how to be ready for the future and how to change with the future and even attempt to predict the future and see what it's like to think forward in the future.
Yeah. That's some super great insights. I just have a question. What are you going to do to prepare for the future?
So currently, I am trying to make little baby steps to improve myself, to make myself more ready for the future. So obviously, I'm trying to make myself more inclusive, I'm trying to make myself more creative, and I'm trying to just hone in on my future thinking skills as well. So I've read a couple of different books recently to help with this. I've read this book, Unlocking Leadership Mind Traps, which talks about certain mind traps that we have about, such as if negativity is one, a lot of times where people will like shut down because they're pessimistic about something. I've also read this book, Changing on the Job, which is about adult development and learning about how adults, even as adults, where we think that we're pretty much like set in a certain way for the rest of our lives, learning how we can like evolve as adults and like develop ourselves personally to become more open to like the future and change and things like that. And lastly, I also read a book recently called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear, which talks about how to live creatively, not just like in your job, but like in your everyday life, and how to seek passions in whatever you're doing and to live life to the fullest through creativity, basically.
Yeah, of course. I totally get that. You know, I'm a creative person. I love doing creative things.
Of course.
I think everybody should, you know, participate in creative exercises and push the boundaries of what makes them comfortable, if that makes sense.
Of course. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. But that's all the questions I have today about the Envision 2040 project. Did you have any questions for me?
I did not know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you later.
Of course. Thank you.